You've been sold a lie. They told you focus is a gentle art, that it's about calming your mind, managing to-do list, and finding your flow. They sold you mindfulness apps, colorful planners, and the fantasy of work-life balance. But look around. Are you more focused? Or are you drowning in a sea of notifications, endless tasks, and the gnawing anxiety that you're always behind? They've given you peacetime remedies for a wartime reality. Your attention isn't a garden you gently cultivate. It's a territory under constant, brutal siege. Every notification, every email, every fleeting desire, every mindless scroll, these aren't just distractions. They are enemy combatants, raiding parties sent to pillage your most valuable resource, your mind. And in this war, productivity hacks are the equivalent of bringing a prayer to a sword fight. They are failing you. They're designed to fail you, because a distracted population is a controllable population. A scattered mind is a weak mind. To get the unbreakable focus you need to build an empire, master a craft, or forge a legacy, you don't need a new app. You need a new philosophy of power. You need to stop managing your distractions and start annihilating them. You need to become the absolute ruthless ruler of your own mind. For this, we won't turn to self-help gurus. We turn to the master strategist of power, Niccolò Machiavelli. His principles weren't designed for comfort or fairness. They were designed for control. They were designed to win. We will adapt his 3 coldest, most merciless principles, not for governing a 16th century city-state, but for conquering the civil war raging inside your head. This isn't about feeling better. It's about becoming ruthlessly effective. This is the Machiavellian path to unbreakable focus. Machiavelli argued that a wise ruler should not keep his word when it goes against his interests. He understood a truth most people won't accept. The most dangerous threats to any kingdom rarely come from outside invaders. They come from within, from traitors, insurrections, and the weakness that festers inside the castle walls. Your mind is your kingdom. Your attention is your crown. And your greatest enemy isn't your phone, your email, or your boss. It's the mob of undisciplined impulses you've allowed to run riot inside your own skull. It's your laziness, your anxiety, your craving for validation, your addiction to the cheap dopamine of a quick distraction. These are the traitors. Your lack of focus is an inside job. A gentle ruler, a beloved one, is the first to be overthrown. Love is fickle. Fear, as Machiavelli noted, is a much more reliable tool. So you must stop trying to be a loved ruler of your own mind, pleading with your impulses to behave. You must become a tyrant. You must govern your inner kingdom with an iron fist. So, how do you do it? With 3 strategic actions. First, you identify the traitors. Like a prince inspecting his defenses, you must become a student of your own mental failures. Practice constant vigilance. When does your focus break? What's the thought that comes right before the mindless scroll? Is it boredom? The discomfort of a hard task? Fear of not being good enough? Observe these moments not with judgment, but with the cold, analytical eye of a spy master. Your mind will resist discipline just as subjects resist authority. The only question is if you'll be ready for that resistance. Keep a log, not of your successes, but of your failures. Every time you break focus, write down the why, a specific app, a thought pattern, a feeling. This log is your intelligence report, revealing the spies and saboteurs in your own head. After a week of this ruthless self-observation, you'll have a list of the key traitors working to dethrone you. Most people won't do this. It requires you to be ruthless with yourself. Not cruel, but ruthless. Second, you crush the insurrection without mercy. Once a traitor is identified, you don't negotiate, you eliminate it. Machiavelli advised that injuries should be done all at once, decisively. Dragging it out just causes more pain and weakens your authority. If the traitor is a social media app, the answer isn't a timer, it's deletion, a swift, clean execution. If it's the impulse to check email every 5 minutes, the answer isn't to try harder. It's to build an impenetrable system. Turn off all notifications. Set a specific, non-negotiable time to check email, maybe twice a day. Outside those times, the email app doesn't exist. It's like a foreign land where you have no passport. Every time a rebellious thought arises, just a quick look. It'll only take a second. You meet it with overwhelming force. Don't argue with it. You are the prince, and it is the peasant. You simply force your attention back to the task. The first few times, it's a battle. After 100 times, it's an unconscious reflex. You're training your mind like a guard dog. It learns that wandering off its post gets a sharp, immediate correction. It learns to stay. Third, you reward loyalty. Machiavelli understood that while fear is the foundation, loyalty is transactional. It must be paid for. In this inner kingdom, the currency is satisfaction, pride. When you successfully complete a deep work session, when you resist distraction for a full hour, you must allow yourself a moment of cold, hard satisfaction. Don't celebrate with the very distractions you're trying to destroy. That's like a king rewarding a loyal soldier by sending him to live with the enemy. The reward is the feeling of power itself. It's looking at the completed work and knowing you commanded it into existence. It's the quiet, internal nod. I am in control. This feeling is more potent than any external praise. It becomes the bedrock of a new identity. You are no longer someone trying to be focused. You are a focused person. A prince, Machiavelli noted, must choose his wars wisely. He should never enter a battle unless he's prepared to destroy the enemy. Engaging on too many fronts dilutes your power, scatters your resources, and guarantees defeat. What you exclude defines you more than what you include. This is the second Machiavellian rule of focus, the strategic application of cruelty. Not to people, but to your goals, your tasks, and your commitments. The modern world preaches a gospel of addition. Add more skills, more projects, more side hustles. Say yes to every opportunity. They tell you a cluttered mind is a sign of ambition. Machiavelli would call this what it is: strategic suicide. Your mind isn't cluttered because you're ambitious. It's cluttered because you're indulgent. You've made yourself available to everything, which means you're committed to nothing. A scattered army can't win a war. A scattered mind can't achieve mastery. Unbreakable focus isn't born from better time management. It's born from brutal, ruthless elimination. This requires 3 forms of strategic cruelty. First, you conduct the Great Purge. Look at your list of goals, projects, and obligations. Look at it with the cold eyes of a prince who knows his kingdom is on the brink of famine and must decide who to save and who to let starve. You can't feed them all. Trying to means everyone perishes. Now take that list and cut 90% of it. Not 10%, 90%. It will feel painful. It will feel wrong. Your mind will scream in protest, telling you you're giving up on your dreams. It's a lie. You aren't giving up on your dreams. You're finally giving one of them a chance to actually succeed. How do you choose the 10% that's left? You find the keystone. What's the one goal that, if you achieve it, makes everything else easier or irrelevant? What's the one battlefield where a decisive victory wins the entire war? Is it mastering one skill? Building one business? That one thing is your prince, your non-negotiable priority. All other goals are either servants to it or they are exiled from the kingdom. This is strategic pessimism. Assume you don't have the resources to win on all fronts, so you concentrate all your force on the one that matters. Second, you master the violence of no. Every yes is a contract signed in the blood of your focus. Once you've chosen your war, every other request for your time and energy is an act of treason. You must learn to say no, not as a negotiation, but as a final judgment. When you say no, don't explain, don't justify, don't apologize. A ruler who is constantly explaining himself weakens his own authority. Explanations are invitations to negotiate. They signal your resolve can be worn down. A simple, "I'm not able to commit to that," is a closed door, it's a fortress wall. This will feel uncomfortable. You've been conditioned to be agreeable. People might call you selfish. Let them. The weak call it narcissism, because they can't handle someone who doesn't bend for them. But you aren't here to be liked. You're here to be effective. You're here to win. Third, you burn the ships. You've heard the story of the conqueror Hernán Cortés. When he landed in the Americas, he supposedly ordered his men to burn their ships. Whether he burned them or sank them, the message was the same. There was no retreat, only victory or death. This is what Machiavelli called the art of necessity. People don't act based on what they should do, but on what they must do. You have to create this same necessity for your focus. Raise the stakes until failure is too embarrassing, too costly to tolerate. Announce your one goal to someone whose respect you can't bear to lose. Set a public deadline. Invest significant money into a course or a coach. Create a system of negative reinforcement. If you fail to do your focused work, you must face a consequence that is genuinely painful. You are engineering your environment so that focus isn't a choice. It's the only path forward. You're burning every escape route. Motivation is fleeting. Necessity is permanent. In the modern world, the most available person is the least powerful. The person who is always seen is easily understood, and whoever is easily understood is easily controlled. The final, and perhaps coldest, Machiavellian rule for focus is to turn inward. Cultivate mystery and weaponize the very things the world fears most: silence and boredom. The world screams for your attention. It demands you participate, react, comment. Noise is the currency of the distracted. Machiavelli, however, operated in silence. He knew that true power is quiet. To build this power, you must adopt 3 practices that defy modern life. First, become strategically unreachable. Your constant availability signals weakness. It tells the world your time isn't your own. To reclaim your power, you must disappear, not by becoming a hermit, but by controlling the portals to your attention like a fortress guard. For hours at a time, put your phone in another room. Let calls go to voicemail. Let texts go unread. You are training the world, and more importantly yourself, that your attention is a scarce resource. People only respect what they fear losing. When you're less available, your time, your input, and your presence become more valuable. Practice the art of the delayed response. You've been trained to believe an immediate reply is professional. It's not. It's a sign of reactivity. A person ruled by impulses is predictable, and predictable people are easily manipulated. By waiting an hour, or even a day, to respond to non-urgent messages, you shatter the expectation of immediacy. You reclaim your schedule, and you create space for a measured, strategic response, instead of a reactive, emotional one. You become the person who doesn't flinch. Second, you must learn to master boredom. Your addiction to distraction is a symptom of a deeper disease, your terror of being alone with your own thoughts. The moment boredom strikes, you reach for your phone like a drowning man grasping for a life raft. This mental reflex is a sign of weakness. The ability to endure boredom is a superpower in the 21st century. It's the ability to sit with a hard problem long after the initial excitement has faded. It's the ability to do the repetitive, unglamorous work that builds true mastery. The person who can endure boredom can achieve anything, because all great work has stretches of tedium. How do you train this? Actively seek out boredom. Spend 15 minutes a day doing absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no book. Just sit and stare at a wall. Your mind will rebel. It will scream. It will flood you with 1,000 anxieties and urges. Let it observe the chaos like a prince watching a peasant revolt from a high castle tower. You are not the chaos, you are the observer. With practice, the chaos subsides, the screaming fades. What's left is a profound stillness. This is the forge where unbreakable focus is created. When you're no longer afraid of the void, the trivial temptations of the world lose their power over you. Finally, use silence to build an aura of power. Machiavelli advised that a prince shouldn't always rush to defend himself when attacked. Silence is often the most powerful response. It projects confidence. It suggests the criticism is so far beneath you, it doesn't warrant a reply. It forces others to fill the void, often by overestimating your strength. Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your habits, your mission. Your focus is your defense. Your execution is your answer. Your results are your proof. While others are loud, you are quiet. While they perform, you build. While they explain, you execute. This creates an aura of mystery. People are unnerved by what they cannot understand. They will tread carefully around the one who moves in silence, whose focus is so total he seems to operate on a different plane. So there they are. 3 cold, hard, and brutally effective rules, adapted from one of history's greatest strategists. First, you'll govern your inner kingdom like a tyrant, crushing your own impulsive rebellions. Second, you'll practice strategic cruelty on your commitments, purging the trivial to focus all your force on what's vital. And third, you'll weaponize silence and master boredom, becoming unreachable, unreadable, and uncontrollable. This path isn't for everyone. It's not easy or kind. It requires you to kill the weaker version of yourself, the one that seeks comfort, craves approval, and flinches at discipline. It demands you stop being a tourist in your own life and start being its absolute ruler. The world is dividing into 2 classes, the focused and the distracted, the rulers and the ruled, the masters of their own attention, and the slaves to the algorithms of others. The choice is yours. You can keep using the gentle, ineffective tools they gave you and remain scattered, overwhelmed, and powerless. Or you can pick up the sword. You can declare war on your own weakness. You can adopt the cold, strategic mindset of a prince and forge a mind so strong, so focused, and so disciplined that it becomes a weapon. A mind that is unbreakable. If you are ready to continue this path, to master the strategies of power and control, subscribe to Psychonic and join those who have chosen to rule, not to be ruled. The throne is waiting.